Hey everyone! Welcome to the Ncert Audiobooks Library, the best place to listen and learn from Ncert textbooks. Whether you are preparing for exams, revising a topic, or just curious about something, you can find the audio version of any Ncert textbook here.
Ncert ebook Morphology of Flowering Plants. The root, the stem, the leaf, the inflorescence, the flower, the fruit, the seed. Semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant. Description of some important families. Unit 2. Structural organization in plants and animals. Chapter 5. Morphology of flowering plants. Chapter 6. Anatomy of flowering plants. Chapter 7. Structural organization in animals. The description of the diverse forms of life on Earth was made only by observation, through naked eyes or later through magnifying lenses and microscopes. This description is mainly of gross structural features, both external and internal. In addition, observable and perceivable living phenomena were also recorded as part of this description. Before experimental biology, or more specifically, physiology, was established as a part of biology, naturalists described only biology. Hence, biology remained as a natural history for a long time. The description, by itself, was amazing in terms of detail. While the initial reaction of a student could be boredom, one should keep in mind that the detailed description was utilized in the later-day reductionist biology, where living processes drew more attention from scientists than the description of life forms and their structure. Hence, this description became meaningful and helpful in framing research questions in physiology or evolutionary biology. In the following chapters of this unit, the structural organization of plants and animals, including the structural basis of physiological or behavioral phenomena, is described. For convenience, this description of morphological and anatomical features is presented separately for plants and animals. Catherine Esau, 1898 to 1997. Catherine Esau was born in Ukraine in 1898. She studied agriculture in Russia and Germany, and received her doctorate in 1931 in the United States. She reported in her early publications that the curly top virus spreads through a plant via the food-conducting or phloem tissue. Dr. Esau's Plant Anatomy, published in 1954, took a dynamic, developmental approach designed to enhance one's understanding of plant structure and an enormous impact worldwide, literally bringing about a revival of the discipline. The Anatomy of Seed Plants by Catherine Esau was published in 1960. It was referred to as Webster's of Plant Biology. It is encyclopedic. In 1957 she was elected to the National Academy of Sciences, becoming the sixth woman to receive that honor. In addition to this prestigious award, she received the National Medal of Science from President George Bush in 1989. When Catherine Esau died in the year 1997, Peter Raven, director of Anatomy and Morphology, Missouri Botanical Garden, remembered that she absolutely dominated the field of plant biology even at the age of 99. Chapter 5. Morphology of flowering plants. 5.1 The root. 5.2 The stem. 5.3 The leaf. 5.4 The inflorescence. 5.5 The flower. 5.6 The fruit. 5.7 The seed. 5.8 Semi-technical description of a typical flowering plant. 5.9 Description of some important families. The wide range in the structure of higher plants will never fail to fascinate us. Even though the angiosperms show such a large diversity in external structure or morphology, they are all characterized by presence of roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and fruits. In chapters 2 and 3, we talked about classification of plants based on morphological and other characteristics. For any successful attempt at classification and at understanding any higher plant, or for that matter any living organism, we need to know standard technical terms and standard definitions. We also need to know about the possible variations in different parts, found as adaptations of the plants to their environment, example, adaptations to various habitats, for protection, climbing, storage, etc. If you pull out any weed, you will see that all of them have roots, stems, and leaves. They may be bearing flowers and fruits. The underground part of the flowering plant is the root system, while the portion above the ground forms the shoot system, figure 5.1. 5.1 The root. In majority of the dicotyledonous plants, the direct elongation of the radicle leads to the formation of primary root, which grows inside the soil. It bears lateral roots of several orders that are referred to as secondary, tertiary, etc. roots. The primary roots and its branches constitute the taproot system, as seen in the mustard plant, figure 5.2a. In monocotyledonous plants, the primary root is short-lived and is replaced by a large number of roots. These roots originate from the base of the stem and constitute the fibrous root system, as seen in the wheat plant, figure 5.2b. In some plants, like grass, monstera and the banyan tree, roots arise from parts of the plant other than the radicle and are called adventitious roots, figure 5.2c. The main functions of the root system are absorption of water and minerals from the soil, providing a proper anchorage to the plant parts, storing reserve food material and synthesis of plant growth regulators. Figure 5.1 Parts of a flowering plant. Figure 5.2 Different types of roots. A. Tap, B. Fibrous, C. Adventitious. 5.1.1 Regions of the root. The root is covered at the apex by a thimble-like structure called the root cap, figure 5.3. It protects the tender apex of the root as it makes its way through the soil. A few millimeters above the root cap is the region of meristematic activity. The cells of this region are very small, thin-walled, and with dense protoplasm. They divide repeatedly. The cells proximal to this region undergo rapid elongation and enlargement, and are responsible for the growth of the root in length. This region is called the region of elongation. The cells of the elongation zone gradually differentiate and mature. Hence, this zone, proximal to region of elongation, is called the region of maturation. From this region some of the epidermal cells form very fine and delicate, thread-like structures called root hairs. These root hairs absorb water and minerals from the soil. Figure 5.3 The regions of the root tip. 5.1.2 Modifications of root. Roots in some plants change their shape and structure and become modified to perform functions other than absorption and conduction of water and minerals. They are modified for support, storage of food and respiration, figure 5.4 and 5.5. Tap roots of carrot, turnip and adventitious roots of sweet potato get swollen and store food. Can you give some more such examples? Have you ever wondered what those hanging structures that support a banyan tree are? These are caliproproots. Similarly, the stems of maize and sugarcane have supporting roots coming out of the lower nodes of the stem. Figure 5.4 Modification of root for support, banyan tree. These are called stilt roots. In some plants such as Rhizophora growing in swampy areas, many roots come out of the ground and grow vertically upwards. Such roots, called nematophores, help to get oxygen for respiration, figure 5.5b. Asparagus. Carrot, sweet potato. A. B. Figure 5.5 Modification of root for A. Storage, B. Respiration, nematophore in Rhizophora. 5.2 The stem. What are the features that distinguish a stem from a root? The stem is the ascending part of the axis bearing branches, leaves, flowers, and fruits. It develops from the plumule of the embryo of a germinating seed. The stem bears no descent internodes. The region of the stem where leaves are born are called nodes, while internodes are the portions between two nodes. The stem bears buds, which may be terminal or axillary. Stem is generally green when young and later often become woody and dark brown. The main function of the stem is spreading out branches bearing leaves, flowers, and fruits. It conducts water, minerals, and photosynthase. Some stems perform the function of storage of food, support, protection, and of vegetative propagation. 5.2.1 Modifications of stem. The stem may not always be typically like what they are expected to be. They are modified to perform different functions, figure 5.6. Underground stems of potato, ginger, turmeric, salmicant, colocasia are modified to store food in them. They also act as organs of perennation to tide over conditions unfavorable for growth. Stem tendrils, which develop from axillary buds, are slender and spirally coiled and help plants to climb, such as in gourds, cucumber, pumpkins, watermelon, and grapevines. Axillary buds of stems may also get modified into woody, straight, and pointed thorns. Thorns are found in many plants such as citrus, bougainvillea. They protect plants from browsing animals. Some plants of arid regions modify their stems into flattened, opuntia, or fleshy cylindrical, euphorbia, structures. Figure 5.6 Modifications of stem for A. Storage, B. Support, C. Protection, D. Spread and vegetative propagation. They contain chlorophyll and carry out photosynthesis. Underground stems of some plants such as grass and strawberry, etc., spread to new niches, and when older parts die, new plants are formed. In plants like mint and jasmine, a slender lateral branch arises from the base of the main axis and after growing aerolith for some time arched downwards to touch the ground. A lateral branch with short internodes, and each node bearing a rosette of leaves and a tuft of roots is found in aquatic plants like Piscium dicornia. In banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum, the lateral branches originate from the basal and underground portion of the main stem, grow horizontally beneath the soil, and then come out obliquely upward, giving rise to leafy shoots. 5.3 The leaf. The leaf is a lateral, generally flattened structure borne on the stem. It develops at the node and bears a bud in its axil. The axillary bud later develops into a branch. Leaves originate from shoot apical meristems and are arranged in an acropoidal order. They are the most important vegetative organs for photosynthesis. A typical leaf consists of three main parts: leaf base, petiole and lamina, figure 5.7a. The leaf is attached to the stem by the leaf base and may bear two lateral small leaf-like structures called stipules. In monocotyledons, the leaf base expands into a sheath covering the stem partially or wholly. In some leguminous plants the leaf base may become swollen, which is called epivinous. The petiole help hold the blade to light. Long thin flexible petioles allow leaf blades to flutter in wind, thereby cooling the leaf and bringing fresh air to leaf surface. The lamina or the leaf blade eyes the green expanded part of the leaf with veins and veinlets. There is, usually, a middle prominent vein, which is known as the midrib. Veins provide rigidity to the leaf blade and act as channels of transport for water, minerals and food materials. The shape, margin, apex, surface and extent of incision of lamina varies in different leaves. B. C. Figure 5.7 Structure of a leaf. Sad face. A. Parts of a leaf. B. Reticulate venation. C. Parallel venation. 5.3.1 Venation. The arrangement of veins and the veinlets in the lamina of leaf is termed as venation. When the veinlets form a network, the venation is termed as reticulate. Figure 5.7b. When the veins run parallel to each other within a lamina, the venation is termed as parallel. Figure 5.7c. Leaves of dicotyledonous plants generally possess reticulate venation, while parallel venation is the characteristic of most monocotyledons. 5.3.2 Types of leaves. A leaf is said to be simple when its lamina is entire or when incised, the incisions do not touch the midrib. When the incisions of the lamina reach up to the midrib, breaking it into a number of leaflets, the leaf is called compound. A bud is present in the axil of petiole in both simple and compound leaves, but not in the axil of leaflets of the compound leaf. A. B. Figure 5.8 Compound leaves. Sad face. A. Pinnately compound leaf. B. Palmately compound leaf. The compound leaves may be of two types. Figure 5.8. In aptly compound leaf, a number of leaflets are present on a common axis, thoracus, which represents the midrib of the leaf as in neem. In palmately compound leaves, the leaflets are attached at a common point, i.e., at the tip of petiole, as in silk cotton. A. China rose. B. Guava. C. Alstonla. Figure 5.9 Different types of phyllotaxy. Sad face. A. Alternate. B. Opposite. C. Whorled. 5.3.3 Phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy is the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the stem or branch. This is usually of three types: alternate, opposite and whorled. Figure 5.9. In alternate type of phyllotaxy, a single leaf arises at each node in alternate manner, as in China rose, mustard and sunflower plants. In opposite type, a pair of leaves arise at each node and lie opposite to each other, as in Calotropis and guava plants. If more than two leaves arise at a node and form a whorl, it is caldwhorled, as in Alstonia. 5.3.4 Modifications of leaves. Leaves are often modified to perform functions other than photosynthesis. They are converted into tendrils for climbing as in peas or into spines for defense as in cacti, figure 5.10a, b. The fleshy leaves of onion and garlic store food, figure 5.10c. In some plants such as Australian acacia, the leaves are small and short-lived. The petioles in these plants expand, become green and synthesize food. Leaves of certain insectivorous plants such as pitcher plant, Venus flytrap are also modified leaves. Figure 5.10 Modifications of leaf. 4. A. Support, tendril. B. Protection, spines. C. Storage, fleshy leaves.
The remaining portion will be covered in next audiobook. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below.